Here we are. We're back.
Hey, it's good to be back with you. This is module 3, which are the chapters chapters 4 and 5 that are really looking at the choice theory in the quality world. This really becomes where the rubber hits the road, I think I'd say, for what happens with quality schools and how we've interpreted and used it.
Yeah. I think the quality world concept is just really intriguing because everybody can relate. I mean, this is the one thing about Glasser is that we're applying it to a school, but you end up doing this sort of self-evaluation, right? Which is one of the basic fundamental aspects of understanding, choice theory. And the quality world, as it comes out in some of the videos, even of our faculty and people who've been through this is one of the concepts that really sticks.
And we've been looking in the first 2 modules quite a bit at lead management versus boss management and setting some things here. We talked a little bit about what he called control theory, but the choice theory part, as you mentioned last week, is really the foundation of what goes on here with what we do and how it works. It really is the difference between looking at stimulus response and feeling, and what we've done for years, that people and students respond to outside stimulus of some type to make them do things, and this is very different. This says that despite that stimulus response piece, or that the external piece that's coming at us, we really are internally motivated. We internally make a decision, we make a choice to do certain things, and that's really, in a nutshell, where we're looking at. Again, choice theory, control theory, as he calls it in the book, is a real descriptive term because we try to control our own behavior, he says, so that what we choose to do is the most needs satisfying thing at that particular time. What needs, Greg? What are we talking about needs here? What's this needs thing?
So fun, power, belonging, freedom, and then of course survival. And a lot of people right now are saying we're barely surviving because of, trying to learn how to do all this new stuff in distance technology. But I will say that those 4 really fundamental needs are what drive it. And there's a lot of flavors on basic needs with other people. There are other books out there, but for me, those have always stuck. And it's part of it's the training, but part of it is it always made sense. And when I was teaching at Placer, we would try to build in some time for even like class meetings and discuss about some choice on their part. But there was this other side of it that really is where the teacher, controls the conditions for success. So you establish a needs satisfying environment, suddenly that quality world, and I don't want to get out ahead of you because you're probably about there, but it starts to build, right? And you start to place yourself hopefully in that quality world. We have our own, and kids have them too. And sometimes we're in it, and sometimes we're not.
Yeah, and that I will go there with the quality world aspect. That we haven't really talked much about that yet, but that really comes down to each of us having our own perception of what is really pleasing, what is needs satisfying out there in the world. What we consider fun, what we consider freedom. These are things that we learn about. And as adults, we've kind of had a lot of experiences and been able to put a lot of those things together. And we have a vision of all of us that are looking at this are that education is being part of our quality world. Somewhere in there, we had some things that went on in our life that made that a part of our quality world.
Yeah.
The problem we face is that we have students that have kind of pushed education or been pushed out of education in terms of their quality world. They haven't had great experiences all the way through. Some have. Those, we got great students that do great things, but there's that marginalized piece, part of our students that really haven't found that fun, that freedom, the belonging aspect of it is all part of what we're looking at here. And the power, and having that power to make choices. The only power they got is to, hey, I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
And they exercise that on a regular basis too.
Yeah. Yeah. This is true. I will say sometimes we would change that power to empower. And I think for kids who understand those basic needs, that's part of what drives and motivates them, is empowering to know that. And I think I know that at Placer anyway, when I was there were English teachers that embedded this in their curriculum. They taught it as a part of understanding why teachers are treating them the way they're treating them, and to talk about self-evaluation, but to talk about those 4 basic needs. And I think when kids understand that, I am empowered to make these decisions, then I think that's a strengthening asset for them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like your use of the word empower, because that's, I would say, using or having students recognize that they have been empowered and allowing them to make some choices. That does move us closer to being part of their quality world, I think.
I think so too.
As an assistant principal, I have to use the word power, because the ones I saw sometimes were simply playing power games with their teachers and their parents and everything else, because that's all they had. Like I said, it was, I choose not to do it. I don't care what you do to me. I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
And, that's very different, in terms of how you deal with that. I mean, we could, and sometimes I went boss manager, we had to. There's some things we had to do on occasion as a administrator that you had to say that this is the way it's going to be. But it really was still lead management, because it was the way you could do it. As long as you could keep your cool and kind of work with it and keep putting it back on the student, it tended to build a relationship and also get a better understanding of what the responsibilities were too.
It may take more time, but I think in the end, the value of building that relationship and maybe putting you at least on the fringe of their quality world, I think that's a worthy effort. So it's a long haul. I mean, Mike Graham used to say, and his beloved Mike Graham, who retired from the English department at Forest Hill and taught at Placer, he would say, we never know when the stuff that we've done during high school, we never know when it's going to flourish and blossom, right? But if we spend the time with kids in an authentic way and teach them some of these skills, I think we're teaching them how to live a life that's valuable.
I'm glad you mentioned Mike Graham, because I'm going to bring him in here as one of our experts that'll be shared. We have that really nice interview of him. And I'm going to share that with the book group here, and also Thomas Schroeder. Now, many have already seen these ones, but I think are timeless. So we're going to incorporate them into this particular module also. So
yeah.
I think we're deep into the middle of it now. This particular module, it's one that I would prefer you to spend your time on even more so than the other ones, because I think it really does get you your foot in the door in terms of quality school and understanding what's going on with Lasser. And again, choice theory, which when we find the part of choice theory that is really where the rubber hits the road, it's called reality therapy. We're going to see more of that a little bit later too. But you got to get the choice theory part down, I think, and understand the quality world aspect of things before we move into that area too.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I'm going to share my folder next time, because I enjoy it. But it fits, I think, better probably in the next couple chapters. So always good chatting with you.
Hey, look forward to the next one. So I will say before we cut out here that this is the last module before we have our new teacher meeting in October 7th. So we're hoping everybody will kind of move through modules 1 through 3 by October 7th in this particular city, and the stuff we're working on.
Always makes for a better discussion if everybody's had a chance to kind of chew on it a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Have a good one, Rob.
You too. Take care.